What's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Manji TV. On today's episode, we got something cool on the lift in for some custom tuning. Currently have a 2024 Range Rover Sport SV on the lift to get the infamous Burger Motorsports JB4, but not just any old JB4. We've got a custom map loaded on this bad boy to make sure this thing rips harder than ever. Currently gonna be walking you guys through the process of installing this Burger Motorsports JB4 on this brand new 2024 SV. You guys can see here, it's got the SV badge on the bumper. This thing is so sweet. Honestly, I just took it for a lap around the block. It's pretty quick. Check this thing out. It's in this awesome frozen gray brown color. I do love that. It's got the quad pipes, full carbon package. It's got carbon fiber wheels, which is pretty sweet. Pretty freaking sweet, and these badass carbon ceramic brakes on it. The interior is sweet on this thing. Honestly, really, really cool car. Really actually just enjoy driving it around the block. It's got such light steering and it turns like 1.5 turns to get this thing to do U-turn. Super sweet bumper, bunch of trim, carbon cover, whole bunch of cool stuff going on with this thing. So we're gonna go ahead, without further ado, start tearing into it and get this JB4 installed. One more quick look at the JB4. So unlike the BMW S63s, which have 2 wastegate actuator plugs and 2 map sensor plugs, I believe these are just for the map sensors to trick the map sensor into thinking it's making more boost than it is. But anyhow, we're gonna be going ahead, getting this thing installed, connecting to it, and putting this bad boy on the custom map. So let's go ahead, get this thing on the car and see how she does. All right guys, give you a quick look here at the JB4 installed. So we've got it mounted here by the brake booster. The connect kit is just zip tied to the main harness here. Sometimes I'll double-sided sticky tape them to the actual JB4 box, but I've had issues in the past where they don't connect, so I've decided to just zip tie it out of the way. We also have cable here. Hopefully you can see it there, just pulled out slightly. Routing through the firewall, there's like a little nipple kind of into the firewall that we've chosen to route it through. It routes up into there. All that stuff looks great. I'm super happy with that. The wire runs up along the strut tower here, pops up underneath. You can't see it, just barely. Pops up underneath this cover. There's a little cavity for it to kind of pass through over the top of the strut tower. Right here, you can just barely see the wire behind this coolant reservoir. Goes behind the coolant reservoir, kind of under it, comes along the side of it there, underneath this air inlet, plugs into our map sensor here on the driver's side, routes between the V of the engine underneath this cover. You can see the cable just there behind the tow hook where it plugs into the secondary map sensor. Really easy install. Honestly, took us about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes to route all that nicely and zip tie everything up. The excess connector and everything wire are all up underneath this trim panel here, which we've reinstalled, but you can see the connector here in the OBD2 port. We're gonna go ahead and take this thing for a drive and show you the difference between first map and second map. Double checking things here. Super seamless install. This thing's pretty sweet. So we're gonna go ahead and just take this thing for a drive. I'll show you the app here on my phone. Connecting. Super weird. It's not showing the gauges here. The different maps are map 0, factory tune. Map 1 is 91, 93 octane. Map 2 is 93 plus. Map 3 is E30. Map 7 is 100 octane. Kind of weird that it's not showing the gauges, but anyhow, I'm gonna take this thing for a rip and see if we notice a difference between the maps. So without further ado, I guess let's take this thing for a quick drive. All right guys, so we're in the car currently. We've got it on map 2. This thing pulls like a freight train, to be honest. We were kind of switching between the original map and map 2 to see if there's any difference, and there's definitely a huge difference. Would be nice to go put a little ethanol in this thing and see what the map 3 E30 map feels like, but to be honest, not sure the customer wants to deal with all that, so we're just gonna leave it in map 2 for now. She pulls pretty hard. You can even hear the turbo just a little bit more like when you let off, which is nice. And under full tilt, it's like, you hear it a little bit, which you really didn't hear on the stock map. We'll get over here real quick to our drag strip and do a quick 0 to 60. What sucks about these cars, you can't brake boost, so you can only give it a little bit of gas. So I'm gonna get it up to about 1500 and then punch it. Oh, she hung up on, oh, we fucked up on the shifting there, guys. I'm sorry, I'm gonna shift it quicker this time. We'll redo that. It hung up in first gear. So I'm just gonna go ahead and roll it on a little bit and go short shifting at about 6, so it doesn't hold us up. There we go, 60, 80 miles an hour. She's ripping. Let's try that again, but leaving in second gear just to see what it does. It's got so much torque, it probably is gonna be just as quick leaving in second. And go. Oh, truck. Woo! It was almost faster, I think, just leaving in second. It was a little slower off the start, but to be honest, that first second shift slows you down quite a bit. So she pulls pretty good, guys. Definitely for the money, can't beat it. Three digits, real quick. Overall, very easy install, very happy with the outcome. I think the customer is gonna be super stoked on it. Pulling over a G on acceleration, which is pretty hard for such a big SUV. This thing's gotta weigh like closer to 7,000 pounds maybe on this thing. It does have a carbon hood and a bunch of carbon stuff like carbon wheels, but still it's a big vehicle and you feel it. But at the same time, the steering is like super light and super responsive. I thought one thing that was really cool, just turning around or like making a turn like that, it turns really sharply with very little steering input. Something like a quick U-turn in this thing, like, dude, it turns around so easy. Like, we're in a 2-lane road right here, like no problem turning around. That thing's fucking turning around pretty good. So for such a big vehicle, it's actually quite maneuverable, and the all-wheel drive system just hooks up and goes. There's no wheel spin, which is nice. Guys, well, that's a wrap. Hopefully you enjoyed this type of content. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. To be honest, we're probably the first people to throw one of these JB4s on a Range Rover SV. I haven't really seen any other content. Hopefully next up we're going to be doing some secondary catalytic converters on this thing, deletes I should say, and maybe a full exhaust system. Who knows? Stay tuned. This thing's bitching. And if you got a Range Rover SV, make sure to hit us up. We'd love to help you out. So anyhow, we'll see you in the next one.
If you like this video, be sure to check out the next one, and if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and like the video. It helps a lot. Thanks, and see you in the next one.
Let's go!